There are several Georgia Bulldogs on offense who I think have a chance to really surprise some people in 2024. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Of course, like a lot of people out there, I think Georgia's offense will be one of the best, most explosive offenses in college football for the 2024 season. And I think these few players could be a big reason why. Now, no notes in front of me, going straight off the dome, right? For y'all, these are a few guys that I just have in mind. The first guy I want to talk about is in the running back room, and it's Roderick Robinson. An absolute bowling ball of a running back, 6 foot, 6'1", not 300 pounds, 230 pounds. Still one of the biggest running backs, not only in Georgia's room, but across the SEC. This is just a bull coming right at you. There are not a lot of defenders who can get this guy to the ground by themselves. Last year, as a true freshman, showed when he was given an opportunity to run the ball that he can do it. And he can blow over defenders and just bounce off tackles. He's a big play machine. And if Branson Robinson is not 100% healthy, if Andrew Paul has a minor setback or two, I think Roderick Robinson, just a freshman last year, will be a sophomore in 2024. I think he could be Georgia's number 2 running back if the guys in front of him right now can't either stay healthy or don't develop. Trevor Etienne is going to be the number 1 running back, but Roderick Robinson should get some carries. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. If you don't know much about him, go back and watch what he did against Florida State, just breaking tackles, a chain mover. He's great around the goal line, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. He's a guy you can give the ball to. He's a guy who I think could have a really solid season as a sophomore. At tight end, Benjamin Yurosek, the kid that transferred from Stanford. I think Oscar Delp is still the best tight end on the roster, but this guy coming in can make a big impact. He caught close to 50 balls as a sophomore, caught like 42 passes as a freshman. Dude can be a real weapon in the passing game. Got hurt in like early October this past year, so only played in maybe like 6 games. Doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but this is an offense that can use him in a lot of different ways. Very similar to Brock Bowers. He's not as talented. He's not as good as Brock Bowers. He's probably not as good as Oscar Delp. But he's versatile. You can hand the ball off to him. He can block. He can help in the screen game. He can pick up yards after the catch. There's a lot to like about his game. And if he's lined up beside Oscar Delp, I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities to see some one-on-one advantages and mismatches down the field, maybe in the middle of the field, in different type of scenarios. So this is a tight end that I think Georgia fans are maybe overlooking. Maybe they just missed that this is a kid transferring in from Stanford who has caught about 100 passes so far in his college career. He's going to provide experience. He's going to provide depth. And it's only going to make things easier for Oscar Delp too. But the kid from Stanford, Benjamin Yurosek, is a guy he's like 6'4", 240, bigger kid who I think is going to make more plays this fall than I think Georgia fans really think. At wide receiver, let's think about it. Colbie Young. Colbie Young's my guy, the transfer in from Miami. Another guy who can stretch the field vertically. He's got size. You can't teach size. You can't teach 6'5", 200 pounds. You can't teach 200 pounds, but you can get a guy there. You can't teach 6'5". This guy brings big-time size, the ability to leap, catch the ball. Another guy who's dangerous after the catch. He can help in the screen game, but obviously at 6'5", he's a long strider. He can sneaky get by defenders down the field. So he's a vertical threat. He's a screen threat, short passing game. This is a big target for Carson Beck, and I think he was real happy when Georgia landed a 6'5" wide receiver who brings more talent, more experience. That wide receiver room is full. It's crowded. You've got Dylan Bell. You've got Dom Lovett. You've got Ra Thomas. But Colbie Young is going to catch the ball. I really think so. Anthony Evans is a guy that needs to touch the football. Arian Smith is still on the team, as explosive as any wide receiver in the country. London Humphreys was a freshman at Vanderbilt last year. Georgia said, we'd love to have you. Come on board, man. Michael Jackson, the third, from Southern Cal. He's the guy who came to Georgia because he thinks he's going to play a lot. And he said, the coaches told me I'm going to play. Colbie Young, though, I think could be that guy. Long, lanky receiver who plays well on the perimeter, can win jump ball situations. He's a threat in the red zone, a real weapon in the red zone and in the end zone, really. So he's a wide receiver that I've got my eye on. On the offensive line, I can name a couple guys, but I'm going to talk about my guy, Dylan Fairchild. When he's in there playing some guard, especially at left guard, he's a mauler. He's a very reliable run defender. He's solid in pass protection. When he's doing his thing, he's very good. I don't know if y'all saw me. My battery's at 10%. Let's go. Let's go. I had no idea. We're going to work through it. We're going to push through it like these dogs. But Dylan Fairchild, he's might be pound for pound the strongest player on the team. West Forsyth kid. I've seen him win state championships in wrestling. I've seen him just destroy opposing defenders on the other side of him. Big fan of this kid. Always have been. Before he had an offer from Georgia. Been talking about that guy. He will be entering his fourth season in Athens, along with Micah Morris, who's going to be battling with him for that left guard job. The offensive line in general, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. You got Xavier Truss, who came back for like a 6th, 7th, 8th year, feels like. I'm kidding, but honestly, not really. But he's been in the program for a while, came back for another year. I assume he's going to be one of those starting, linemen, whether it's at right tackle or whether it's at left guard. If Xavier Truss wins the right tackle spot over Monroe Freeling, who I think has the potential to be a possible first-round pick down the road. He's got to win one of these starting jobs, though. But if Xavier Truss wins the right tackle job, this is a Micah Morris, Dylan Fairchild battle for left guard. They both played there. They both got some experience. But I think Dylan Fairchild, I don't want to say I'm pulling for him over Micah Morris because I covered Micah Morris too in high school. Great kid. And he's really good when he's in there. But I just like talking about my guy, Dylan Fairchild. I think he's going to be an NFL offensive lineman one day, but they got to figure that out. If Monroe Freeling wins the right tackle job, then Xavier Truss is probably the odds-on favorite to win the left guard job because we think Jared Wilson's going to be the center. We know Tate Ratledge is at right guard for like the 10th year in a row. And Ernest Green will be in his 3rd year, 2nd year starting at left tackle. So I think Dylan Fairchild could win that left guard job. If he does, he beat out some really good players for that job, and I think he could be one of the best left guards in the SEC and possibly the country. That's my guy. I'm going to be pulling for him the entire way. Really good dude, really good player as well. I want to talk about another tight end quickly. Jaden Reddell, incoming freshman, 6'4", 230, runs like a deer, can catch the football. He's a weapon down the field as well. Had some quarterback issues in high school. They were going through some guys. They weren't that great, so his numbers kind of reflected that. I had someone tell me that they just can't get him the ball. But everything I've heard about how he's doing in Athens tells me this kid could be an absolute superstar. He's from Missouri. Todd Hartley knows exactly what he wants out of these tight ends. And this is a pass-catching machine who runs really well. He's testing off the charts in Athens right now, just going through workouts. He is plenty fast for 230. You're looking for Brock Bowers' clone. I don't think he's that because Brock Bowers, they don't grow on trees. I don't think we'll ever see a guy as good as Brock Bowers, as versatile as him, as clutch as him. But Jaden Reddell, I think, has the chance to have a very, very good career in Athens. And I think whether it's Gunnar Stockton next year or even Carson Beck this year, trying to find the freshman tight end, he might want to do that. Whether it's Ryan Puglisi in a couple years. Jaden Reddell is going to catch the football a lot. It may not be this year because you've got Oscar Delp, you've got Lawson Luck, you've got Benjamin Yurosek, who I talked about earlier, you've got Pierce Spurlin. So it's hard to imagine him seeing the field a ton this year, especially on the road at Texas, on the road at Ole Miss, on the road at Alabama, on the road at Kentucky. There's only 2 cupcake games, right? So I don't think we're going to see Georgia blowing these teams out every week by the half, right? So it's going to be tougher to get some of these freshmen in. But Jaden Reddell is definitely a guy that I've got my eye on. At running back, going back to the running back spot, I talked about Roderick Robinson. We know how good Branson Robinson could be. Andrew Paul is promising. We know what Trevor Etienne already brings. But Nate Frazier, I've been talking about him for a while now. The 4- or 5-star running back that they signed, whatever outlet you pay attention to. He's one of the best backs in the country because he's a complete back. He can catch, he can run, he can block, he's shifty, he's explosive, he can break tackles, he can run through you, he can run by you, he can give you a little shake and bake, make defenders miss in the open field. Kid's electric, and he can do a lot for you. Had a big-time touchdown catch on a wheel route down the sidelines in the All-American game in early January. Kid's explosive, even as a freshman, and even with several backs in front of him on the depth chart, I think Nate Frazier is going to see the field. And the more he does, the more Georgia fans are going to really, really like him. So those are just a few guys on offense that I think are flying a little too under the radar, guys. So I think have the ability to make a big impact next year that Georgia fans should know about. Thanks for watching this video. You can sign up to Dawg Post right now by clicking on our free newsletter. That link is down below. You can read all the free stories we have over on the website. If you're enjoying these videos, we really appreciate it, you watching during the off season. I know it can be tough, but if you're enjoying the videos, we want to see you over on the website. So make sure you check us out over on Dawg Post. Thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you on the next one.